And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Synergy Theater. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Ken Adams. I'm the artistic director of Synergy Theater, and you have arrived on a Friday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time, and on a very special one because this is the final night of our summer season, and that means next week we launch right into our fall and winter season of online shows. I'll tell you all about that later, but you are here now for the final performance of the life and adventures of Peppermint Jones, and it is awesome of you to be here. I want to start right away by bringing out my co-star for the evening. Please welcome Valerie Regalia to the show. Hello, Valerie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well, and it's very, very nice to have you here tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show, as all of Synergy Theater's shows are, is completely improvised, made up on the spot, and all based on your suggestions. In tonight's show, I'm going to play the title character, Peppermint Jones, and Valerie over there is going to play all of the other characters in the show. So sit back, you're in for a big treat. As always, we are coming to you live on YouTube, and now recently also live on Facebook. So some of you are watching us on YouTube, some of you are watching us on Facebook. If you would like to interact with us and offer suggestions, the way that you're going to do that is by using the chat feature. So you can go to the live stream on Facebook and comment right there in the comment field. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can go ahead and log into your YouTube account, and that's the way you'll be able to interact with us on chat in order to give us suggestions. If you see me looking like this and this in the beginning as I'm fielding suggestions, that's because I'm going back and forth between Facebook and YouTube trying to get as many of our fans involved as possible. So in order to get us started, we are going to ask you for 4 suggestions. The first suggestion that we're going to ask you for is a location, some type of location that will appear in the show tonight. So go ahead and either type that into the YouTube comment or the Facebook comment, and we'll take some as soon as we see them pop up. Now, after we get a location from you, we're going to ask you for an object, some type of innocuous object that's going to feature prominently in the show tonight. So let's see. Okay, I see one suggestion for a location already, and that looks awesome, and that is a bog. So we will have at one point in the show tonight, we will visit a bog. And now the next suggestion that I asked for, as I mentioned, is an object. So somebody go ahead and type in an object. After that, I'm going to ask you for an occupation. So you can start thinking of occupations as we are looking for some objects to pop up. Here's an awesome object, a lawn flamingo. A lawn flamingo will be the object that will somehow appear in the show tonight. And the next one, as I said, is an occupation. So if you can think of an occupation and you'd like to type it into the comment field over there, either on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and do that, and we'll see which one we can take from you. I am looking at, oh, that's interesting, a tour guide. How about a tour guide? I think that sounds like a great idea. And finally, the last suggestion, now that you know this will involve a bog, a lawn flamingo, and a tour guide, the last suggestion is for the title of the show. Now, let me explain the formula for that. The name of the show is The Life and Adventures of Peppermint Jones. This is going to be episode 12, Peppermint Jones, and then we would like you to fill in that blank for us. So give that a little bit of thought, and as soon as you get an idea, just type it into the field over there, Peppermint Jones and that will be the title of our show. I'm looking for the feed to come popping up on Facebook, where we're streaming live, or on YouTube. And oh wow, how about that one? I like that one. Peppermint Jones and the Lost Memory. Peppermint Jones and the Lost Memory. That is awesome. All right, our four suggestions were a bog, a lawn flamingo, a tour guide, and the title of the show is Peppermint Jones and the Lost Memory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to send Valerie off screen in order to prepare for the show. I'll see you in a few minutes under the big lights. And we are 1 moment away from beginning tonight's performance of the life and adventures of Peppermint Jones. I'm going to disappear for just a moment, and when I come back, the show will begin. Thank you for spending your Friday night with Synergy Theater. Well, hello. My name is Peppermint Jones. Now, I'm an older man now, and mostly what I like to do is just come out here and sit on this park bench and look up at that beautiful blue sky overhead and think about the days gone by. But I wasn't always an older man. I used to be a younger man. And when I was a younger man, I had me all kinds of adventures. In fact, I had so many adventures that I gave them all a number and a title. And I am glad you're here tonight, because tonight I am going to recount for you the life and adventures of Peppermint Jones, episode 12, Peppermint Jones and the Lost Memory. Now, as I said, this story took place a long time ago, when I wasn't nothing more than 19 or 20 years old, and I wasn't clean shaven like you see me now. No, I had all kinds of hair back then, and I was living the life of Riley. Well, it was often on a Friday night that I'd just be hanging out with one of my friends, one of my best friends especially. His name was Pete Terwilliger, and Pete Terwilliger and we just used to hang out, look up at the great big sky from the porch of my farmhouse, and sometimes we'd be as foolish as to dream about the future. Isn't it amazing, Pete, how high the sky goes?
I never seen anything like it except for every other day of my life.
Sometimes when you look at something for every day of your life, they say you might be missing something obvious. What do you say we look up at it for a moment and see if there's something we're missing?
There ain't no clouds today.
I don't see no birds or airplanes or flying saucers or anything. I don't know.
There's one thing I can't see.
What's that?
The stars, because it's daytime.
That's right. But you know what I like to think about, Pete? I like to think that even though we can't see the stars, they're still out there, just as bright as they are at night. It just goes to show you that sometimes there's something real important, even though you're not aware of it.
Yeah, or that even though you think something's gone forever, it ain't. It's still there, even if you can't see it.
Pete, I hope you and our friendship ain't ever gonna be gone forever.
Well, Peppermint, that's what I come to tell you.
What?
It seems I've been accepted to a university.
A university? What are you gonna be doing at a university?
Peppermint, I'm studying the stars. I plan on becoming
Studying
an astrophysicist.
an astro what?
An astrophysicist. I want to work for NASA.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Pete. What's an astrophysicist and where's NASA? Is that the new yogurt shack they're opening down on Elm?
Peppermint, don't you tell me that you never thought about leaving this town and doing something more important than sitting on the porch all day?
Leaving Hudson Falls?
You never thought about it?
No, I ain't never thought about that. I figured I'd just kind of take over the house and live here for a while and run the farm, and then every Saturday or so go to the church social.
Oh, shucks, Peppermint. You're a different kind of man than I am.
Pete, what do you hope to accomplish leaving the town?
Peppermint, I want to meet people. I want to see new things. Maybe I'll go to the moon someday.
Go to the moon? Why, Pete, I think you've been wearing that hat on your head too tight because you're talking crazy talk.
It's not crazy, Peppermint. If I learned anything, it's that there's more out there than what you think. And you'll never know what you're missing until you find it.
Well, Pete, you and I, we spit on our palms and we made a blood spit oath. That's because we had blood in our saliva because we didn't brush our teeth no good back then. And we swore that we were never gonna leave each other.
Well, I am, Peppermint. I'm leaving. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But
I'm sorry, Peppermint. You're my best friend, but like the stars up there, just because I'm not going to be here with you, don't mean that I'm not there. I'm just there. Up north.
But I'm gonna miss you, Pete.
Ah, shucks, I'll miss you too, Peppermint. But this is what I'm telling you. Why don't you go looking for yourself at a university or at least do some traveling? Maybe you could visit me sometime.
I guess maybe, but I knew in my heart I probably was never going to see Pete Terwilliger again. Well, before you go, you want to spit in our palms and mix the bloody saliva together again as a token of our friendship?
I will, of course. Now go, get. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get.
You have a good time on the moon.
I will.
And off Pete Terwilliger went. And I've got to tell you that he got me thinking. He got me thinking all kinds of crazy thoughts about leaving the farm and leaving Hudson Falls and going to the moon. And I would have been all caught up in that if suddenly I didn't smell the most delicious cooking coming from my mama's kitchen. Now, if you know anything about my mama, Mama Jones, you know that she can cook up a mess of taters and make it taste like a mess of grits. She was a magician in the kitchen. Mama, Petey Terwilliger, he's going away.
Oh, he finally told you.
You knew?
Of course I did. Son, he was the smartest kid in this town. You don't think he was going to stick around here with all us dummies?
Mama, you think I'm a dummy?
Not dummy. You're simple. You don't want more in life. You're happy here with me, with the same old sausage every day, the same eggs every morning, the same cows out back.
Is that so bad?
No, that's exactly what I'm telling you, Peppermint. There's nothing wrong with being satisfied with everything that you have, because you have a lot.
But it was almost like everything she said, I heard as the opposite. When she said I had a lot, it was like I heard I don't have anything at all.
You know, this is the most exciting place that you can be. There's nothing out there. Not for people like us. Think about yourself. Someday you could be married to someone like me. And, you and your wife, you can sit up at night until 8:30 p.m. watching the news, having your Salisbury steak.
Salisbury steak is like hamburger for people who don't chew too good. All right, Mama. I guess I'll see you in a little while.
Where are you going?
Guess I'm just going to take me a walk and think about some thoughts and things.
Okay, well, don't you be back too late, okay? I've got that
Well,
Salisbury steak tonight.
I left the house and I just started walking. And I walked and walked, and having no place better to go, I went down to the Hudson Falls Bog. Now, by this time, it was getting pretty dark, and some of those stars that we couldn't see before, well, they were starting to come out. And when I got to the bog, it was a lonely, desolate place. The sky was dark and had turned a deep orange mauve-like color, hinting at purple. And I could even hear some of the bubbles that were bubbling up from the noxious water from the methane-filled bog. And I could hear some of the croaking of the frogs and some of the skittering and scattering of the lizards and the snakes that lived there. And I was feeling as if I didn't have any place better to be than a dirty, smelly, messy bog. And it was almost like my insides felt just as dirty and smelly and messy as the bog that I was standing near.
Help!
What?
Help!
Who's that?
Where am I? Where is this?
You're at the Hudson Falls Bog. Are you all right?
Where's Hudson Falls?
She was the most beautiful girl I ever set my eyes on. She had long brown hair and she wore a nice tight black shirt, and she looked all kinds of confused, but all I could see at the moment was those beautiful rose petal lips and those shining teeth and those big bright eyes that were making the stars in heaven jealous because they were so much brighter. You're in Hudson Falls.
What happened? I can't remember anything. What's happening?
Well, are you saying that you don't know how you got here or where you are?
No, the last thing I remember was I was in a car. I was with my uncle. We were driving from the city. And then I don't remember what happened.
You don't even know your name?
No, I know my name.
What is it?
It's Jennifer.
Jennifer.
What?
That's a beautiful name. Well, Jennifer, my name is Peppermint Jones. And I live here in Hudson Falls, just up with Mama.
Nice to meet you, Peppermint. Ah, gosh, my head really hurts. I think I got hit in the head with something.
Well, maybe I ought to take you to the hospital.
Yeah, can you take me? I don't know if I should go to the hospital. I think that I was maybe involved in something illegal. I don't know.
Something illegal? Well, now, wait a minute. Don't go getting carried away with yourself. If you don't have your memory, you might have a concussion. And if you have a concussion, you're going to have to get that looked at by the doctor. Now, if you would just trust me, I'll take you to old Doc Maloney. Old Doc Maloney's the best doc we got.
Okay, but you have to promise me something.
Sure.
Don't tell them my real name, okay? Listen,
How
I come from a crime family, and I think that my family tried to put a hit on me.
How about if I call you Bog Babe?
Sure. That works.
Huh. Well, I took Bog Babe by the hand. I used my left hand so she didn't get none of that bloody spit all over her nice hand. And I led her to the road where we hopped onto the back of Farmer Jeepers' hay farm riding truck thing, and he took us all the way to the hospital where old Doc Maloney took us right in, and all he had to do was get rid of the one patient right before us, and since that patient was a pig, it wasn't no trouble pushing her off. Doc Maloney took one look at Bog Babe, and Doc Maloney was concerned.
Oh, I'm very concerned about your coloring. You look ill. Yeah, I think I fell and hit my head. Well, we better get it checked out. You might have a concussion. Yeah, that's what Peppermint said. Well, let's check it out. Young man, can I do anything for you?
Oh, I'm feeling just fine. I don't suppose you have a wet wipe or anything, though.
Mm-hmm. Here you go. I always carry wet wipes.
And I wiped off my palm of my hand. Goodbye, Pete Terwilliger. Well, the doctor examined Bog Babe, and when Doc Maloney was all done, he didn't have no good news to share.
It seems that she was hit on the head with something very heavy, and she can't access the memory that was lost to her. I don't know if she'll ever get it back, but in my professional opinion, if you wish her to remember the events that occurred, I would try to retrace her steps from the last thing that she can remember.
Bog Babe, would you like to team up with me and retrace your steps?
Peppermint, I thought you would never ask. Yes, I need your help.
Well, we stood there in the doctor's office for 15 minutes until Doc Maloney remembered that he had to give us both a lollipop. And when we got our lollipops, we went off. Here I was, suddenly teaming up with a mysterious stranger from the bog, and one who, as I might have mentioned before, I thought was beautiful, and we were on an adventure. So there, Petey Terwilliger, I thought to myself, you might be going to the moon, but I got me a trip to heaven. Well, we left the doctor's office and we went outside into one of the busiest streets in the middle of Hudson Falls. And I heard the traffic whizzing by and some of the old horse-drawn carriages pulling by too. We still had a knack for the nostalgia in Hudson Falls. Are you doing all right? You'll get used to that smell in just a moment.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. But Peppermint, I think we need to go back to my apartment and see if we can find anything.
You said at the bog that you thought your life was in danger.
It's true. Look, my uncle, he's the head of this big organized crime syndicate. And I was kind of brought up to continue in that life, but I didn't. I decided to leave the family and quit and go off to school and do something on my own. And then, I told my uncle, he said he was okay with it. And he went to take me to a congratulatory dinner. And then The next thing I remembered, I was in the bog with you. He's a dangerous man, Peppermint. He's really dangerous. So
Yes.
before you agree to go with me, are you okay to get into some danger?
Well, I had never even thought about that before. But if Petey Terwilliger can go off and be all kinds of brave, well, who was I to sit around and just turn into my mama? Yes, yes, I am, Jennifer. I'm ready to risk everything to help you.
Good. I think I need a drink.
Well, I thought she was going to take me to a bar or something, but she took me right back to her apartment, just like she said she would. And I think she had more alcohol in her apartment than Joe Whiskers has down at the Burp and Slurp. And I was surprised at how quickly she drank one drink after another. But I'll tell you, she lived in a house that really put mine to shame. It was just an apartment, but I bet my whole farm could have fit in there. Wow, this must have cost $1 billion.
About? Yeah.
How'd you get so much money?
My family.
Oh, it's mob money.
Yes. But I'm gonna quit the lease. I'm gonna do it now. I intended to. I'm gonna get out.
Jennifer,
Yes?
have you ever killed anybody?
Not on purpose.
And
Look,
then she told me the most harrowing story.
I was with my family, and I didn't know that what we were doing was a work-related thing. And it was a residential area. And my uncle told me, listen, Jenny, why don't you go pick up that flamingo right over there? Go pick that up, and why don't you give it a toss in that window just for fun? So I picked up the lawn flamingo. And I tossed it, just thinking it was fun. I didn't know that there was a knife attached to the end of it. And it killed the homeowner.
Jennifer, I'm so sorry. That must have been horrible.
It was a tragic accident. And then I didn't even know what was happening. My uncle rushed me back into the car and we left, and I've been so tortured by it every day.
Jennifer, if those are the things you can remember, this one memory that you can't remember, it must be something awful.
I'm so afraid, Peppermint. If my
Just then, there was a pounding at her door. She became really frightened, and she told me to go hide behind the couch. I didn't know what was going on, but she picked me up and she threw me out of the kitchen behind the couch. Just then the door burst open, and the meanest looking mug I ever seen came in. I was just hiding behind the couch and listening.
Hey, Jennifer. So you're alive, huh? How'd you survive that? Oh my gosh. I survived. You didn't manage to kill me. There's police. They're on their way. I've pressed a button. Here. Jennifer, I don't think you're going to be alive long enough for the police to help you.
And suddenly, not knowing what was overcoming me, I leapt out from behind the couch like I was some sort of lion or something. And I ran at that man and I knocked him down. And with my foot, I kicked him in the gut. And with my hand, I punched him in the face. And with my knee, I kneed him in the jaw. And with my elbow, I elbowed him in the nose. And with my fingers, I poked him in the eyes until he fell to the floor screaming like a catfish what was on a hook. Jennifer, we gotta get out of here.
Let's go right now.
She ran out of there as fast as a muskrat chased by a wolverine, and I ran right after her. I was feeling empowered. I was feeling strong, but I was feeling really afraid too. We ran and ran until we came to a little restaurant where we were able to duck in and make sure that no one was able to see us anymore. Well, when we got inside, we were just breathing as hard as any two people have ever breathed before. Jennifer, I'm kind of scared, but I'm feeling a little bit exhilarated also.
You saved my life.
I never saved a life before.
Peppermint, will you kiss me?
Kiss you? Well, I hated to have to admit it even to myself, but I had never kissed a girl before. I only did practice kissing with PDT, and again the whole bloody saliva thing got in our way. So when she asked me to kiss her, I think I was more afraid to say yes than I was afraid to jump out at that mafia man. I would love.
Oh my gosh!
What?
My cousins, they're right at the door. Quick!
And she grabbed me by the hand again and pulled me out the back door of the bar, right through the kitchen, until she found a car, what was parked on the street. And I don't know how she did it, but she jimmied open the car door and she started driving with me just as fast as she can. Jennifer, this is Sheriff Thompson's car.
Well, we have to go.
And she put the pedal to the metal further and further away until finally we arrived at the desolate cliffs of Hudson Falls. The cliffs were a strange place at Hudson Falls, because if you went one step too far over those cliffs, you fell down and you ain't never coming back up. Careful now. Right behind you are those cliffs.
Oh my gosh. Peppermint, I think I need your help to get away, really far away.
Jennifer, I think as long as that memory is inside of you and you don't know what it is, you're never going to be able to get out of danger. It's like those stars up in the sky that PDT and I were trying to see. You see, we couldn't see them because the sun was out, but I knew that they were still there and they were still shining bright, just like that secret, that memory is deep down inside of you.
Peppermint, even if I can't remember, I think I can deduce. My uncle tried to kill me and leave me for dead in a bog. That's the most logical explanation.
Suddenly, I saw a glimmer in her eye, and it looked as if that memory might just be coming back. But before she was able to say another word, a huge tree limb came out of nowhere, knocked her in the head, and knocked her down. And then I saw her cousin. He was twice as big as the other mug, and he picked her up like a sack of taters and slung her over his shoulder. And then he turned to me and he said,
"You wait here. Someone will be along to kill you in a moment."
And he went off, just skirting the edge of the cliff. And he took her into a big black limousine car and drove away with her. Then I was scared because now he saw me. But even more than scared of him, I was thinking about how close I came to kissing her. And that was really nice. I was thinking about that so much that I didn't even notice there was another old lady walking up behind me. And this lady turned out to have glasses and a book. I didn't know where she came from or what she was doing, but she soon explained.
Oh, are you here for the tour?
The tour?
Yes, the tour, the historical tour of Hudson Falls.
Well, I didn't even know Hudson Falls gave tours. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you Andrea Dombrowski from elementary school?
Yeah, yes, I am. Peppermint Jones.
Yeah. Wow, you grew up and became a tour guide?
I did. You see, I always thought there was more than just the life that I was living, and it turns out that that life was history.
You're an expert in history?
Yes, I am, and in fact, I'm an expert in the history of our town, of this little city that we live in.
Well, I don't know if you have any expertise that might be able to help me, but I just met and fell in love with a girl from a mafia family who's repressed a memory that all of the other people in her family are trying to kill her before she remembers about. Now, she was just kidnapped and taken away by one of those family members in a big black limousine, and I was here and I came this close to kissing her, and that was really nice, but that's not important now. What's important now is if we don't figure out what that memory is inside her head, then I'm afraid she's never going to be able to get out of trouble.
Peppermint, there's a long history in this town of mafia activity. Not Activia, the yogurt. I meant activity.
I get those two confused also.
Yeah, same here. Listen, this girl, is she part of the Flamingo crime family?
I think so, because there was an issue in her life with a knife that was taped to a flamingo.
Classic. That's how they get people to go into their crime family. They convince them that they've murdered somebody. But really, the head of the family just stabs the person that they're trying to kill. So did she think that she killed someone by throwing a flamingo at them?
That's exactly what she thought.
It's not true. There was no knife attached to that flamingo. Of course there wasn't.
You mean she's innocent?
Yes, I have all the history of all of these incidences right here. I've been studying it for years. Look, your friend is innocent of that crime.
Andrea, do you have any hints in that encyclopedic mind of yours that might help us figure out what this repressed memory could be?
Well, from my studying of the case from 1927 of the Flamingo crime family, they put a hit out on one of their own family members. And in that case, what they did was they took the family member on a tractor. They took a lawn flamingo. They killed that family member with the flamingo. And then they dumped the body in the bog.
Wait a minute. What if they're only making Jennifer think she can't remember something through some type of hypnosis or something so they could frame her for murders that the others committed?
That's it. That's the hint I've been looking for. For 5 years, it all makes sense. Yes, the crime family, they're trained in hypnotic arts.
That's amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely get in a scholarly review for this.
Oh, but Andrea, wait, they took her. The mob family took her and they've driven away with her. I'm afraid her life is in danger. I've got to get there and make sure that she understands that she's innocent and bring all of their skullduggery to light.
But I have a tour that I'm supposed to lead. Oh, to hell with the tour. Okay, let's go. Let's go on a chase.
Come with me and help me.
Yeah, Will you kiss me right now? I've never felt so thrilled in my life.
I'm sorry, but I feel as if I have an emotional commitment to Jennifer, and it would be wrong to kiss another girl.
Okay, that makes sense. Woo! Let's go.
That was a close one, and I don't mind telling you, I almost kissed her with tongue. Well, she sure was a tour guide, right? And she knew exactly how to follow hints and clues in order to find whatever it was that she was looking for. And no sooner was I following her than we went here, there, and another place, and we ended up at an old shack hidden in the woods. It had corrugated metal roof with a thin rusted metal chimney poking out with one of those pointy little cone-shaped tops on it, and a sickly stream of white smoke was coming out. Standing right in front of the house with her back towards the woods, there was an intimidating girl.
What do you want?
I'm here for Jennifer, and this is my friend Andrea Dombrowski, and she's here to help me. You tell her, Andrea.
Yeah, we're here for Jennifer, like he said, of the Flamingo crime family.
But this girl wasn't having it.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my vacation house. I'm here all alone.
But Andrea knew how to deal with people like this. Yeah, violence. Well, Andrea stood up and the two of us went running up to the old screen door. I took it by its metal handle. The hinges were so rusted that the whole screen door came off in my hand. And then Andrea, she kicked in the wooden door and it fell right off of its hinges too. And when we looked inside of that house, one of them mean mafia cusses, he was holding Jennifer by the scruff of her neck and he had a knife in her throat. Jennifer!
Peppermint! Help me! Not to worry, ma'am. I have a PhD in history of this town. And I have some information for you that I think that you'll find very interesting. Yeah, but my life is kind of in danger right now. What are you talking about? What do you know? Listen, don't kill her. Okay, you're part of this crime family. Yes, I am. Look, do you feel like you're trapped in this because you committed a murder and you are afraid of what could happen to you if your family knew that you left? Listen, did you think that you killed someone with a flamingo one time? How did you know? Look, don't worry. I'm here to help you. We're here to help you. You didn't do that. You didn't kill that person. You don't have to do this.
Did anybody kill anybody with a flamingo?
Well, now that you mention it, I don't know. Maybe not. Are you telling me that I didn't kill that person? I never killed anybody? That's right. That's right, Jennifer. Well. So you found out. You found out my secret, huh?
The man in the bowler hat, I learned later that his name was Louis LaRue, and he was the real head of the whole family.
Listen, I know you guys think you found out something important here, but you're gonna be dead in 5 minutes anyways. Why don't you get out of here?
And it was then, just then, that I realized something. If everybody has something inside of them that's there, but they just can't see it, kind of like those stars in the sky that Petey Terwilliger and I couldn't see, then maybe this man, maybe Louis LaRue, also had something deep inside of him. And maybe it wasn't Jennifer who needed to uncover a repressed memory. Maybe it was Louis. So I looked at Louis and I said the only thing I could think of to make him become really introspective. Louis, look within.
So, so what am I supposed to give up this life I've been living my whole life? You don't know the kind of pressure that their family puts on you when you're born into a family. They expect you to take over the family business, and they convince you that you killed someone, and then you realize later in your life, once you actually have killed people, that it was all just an elaborate prank, and that they tricked you into doing it, and then you lose respect for your entire family, and then you...
Louis, dig deeper. When you were little, maybe even just a little baby, wasn't there something good that you did that you can remember now and make that the map of your new tour?
Yes. In 3rd grade, when little Bobby No Pants, he tripped. I helped him up, and he said, "Thanks, Louis, you're a nice guy." And I believed it, and then that night, my dad made me join the crime family.
Now, Andrea, she was a tour guide, see, and she leapt into action using her psychological tour guide experience to help lead Louis back into the light.
History is full of so many people who continue to do wrong things until they realized it's never too late to change. It's never too late to go back to being a good person. Think about how many times in history people have decided that they can change, that they can be good. And think about that little boy that you were, that little boy who believed in the goodness of people, the little boy who believed that lawn flamingos were cute, adorable toys and not a weapon. You're right. I'm sorry. Guys, call this off. Call off the hit. Jennifer, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You never killed that man. I did it. I killed him. I think it's time for me to take responsibility for all the things that I've done. I can change. I think I should go to the police. Yes, you should.
And then the man holding Jennifer loosened his grip, and Jennifer was able to breathe free again.
Peppermint and Andrea, you saved my life.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm okay. Okay.
Well, Jennifer reached out a hand, and I took it in mine, and we waved goodbye to the man with the knife and the shack, and we left all of that behind us as we walked out, and we stood out in the fresh air for the first time, not under any clouds of any kind. And, well, it was time to say goodbye to Andrea. Andrea, I don't know how we can thank you. Who'd have thought a tour guide would show up just when you need one?
That's what I became a tour guide for, to help people. Peppermint, don't be surprised if you find your name in a book, a history book, a new history of Hudson Falls.
Well, I'd be honored, Andrea. And Andrea wrote something in the book and walked away, leaving me and Jennifer alone. Well, we strolled on a little bit together. Now both of us feeling kind of shy. That was really interesting, huh?
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what to do now.
Jennifer, back there by the cliffs, you and I, we almost kissed each other.
I thought we almost kissed at the restaurant.
I just keep imagining kissing you, so I don't know where the heck it really was.
Before you kiss me, look up at the stars.
I hadn't even noticed that the sun had gone down and that there were beautiful stars up in the sky. I looked right up and I saw what I later learned was Cassiopeia, the queen.
There's so many of them up there. Each star with its own entire set of planets. So many different worlds. So many possibilities.
Almost as if there's just as many possibilities inside of us, just waiting to be remembered.
Do you know what you're going to do with the rest of your life, Peppermint?
No, do you?
No.
Oh.
But I'm excited to find out.
Do you think you want to find some of that out with me?
Yes.
And without saying another word, except knowing from the very, very proactive nodding of her head that I was having a large amount of consent, I reached in and I kissed her. That was really nice.
That was great. Peppermint, I think I'm going to buy a ticket and go to Europe. And maybe when I'm there, I'll study something new, like cooking or I don't know, anything. Do you want to go to Europe with me?
Europe, that's so far away. I mean, I'm ready to leave Hudson Falls, but I don't think I'm ready to go to Europe.
Well, I think that's where I'm going to go.
And I knew just then that just like Petey Terwilliger, I wasn't ever going to see Jennifer again. Well, thanks for the kiss.
Thank you, Peppermint. Thank you for more than the kiss. Thank you for helping me get my life back. Literally saving my life several times. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
A long time from now, maybe 50 years from now, when you're a right old lady and you're sitting on some porch somewhere surrounded by all of your grandchildren and you're just thinking about life, maybe you'll dig down into some of those memories you forgot about for a while and you'll remember Peppermint Jones.
Of course I will.
Bye.
Bye.
And she walked away. And sure enough, I never saw her again. I never saw Petey Terwilliger again either. And I didn't know who else I was about to never see again as I took the next step in my adventures. but I knew one thing. I knew that if I was ever lost and I couldn't find a star up in the sky to steer by, then that wasn't going to be a problem, because all I had to do was look deep within, deep past anything I could remember, and I'll find something there just waiting for me. And that's the end of that story of Peppermint Jones. Thank you. And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Valerie Regalia, come on out. On the count of three, Valerie, let's take a big bow for the audience. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. You are an awesome audience. We love and appreciate your support so much. Let me make a couple of brief announcements and then we can all go and enjoy the rest of our Friday night. Number one, Synergy Theater is here every Thursday and Friday. Next week, we start our brand new season. If you've been watching us for the past few months, thank you. But next week, we're going to unroll 8 brand new shows that no one has ever seen before. So come back. In fact, next week, we're starting off with a brand new show that Valerie created and directed for us called Couples Therapy, a beautiful 3-person improvised play that takes place in a couples counseling office. It's a ton of fun. Rehearsals have been awesome. I hope you'll come back and watch that. Also next week, we have Notes in the Hallway, a brand new show, which is a high school teen drama. So come on back next week. We're changing our time on Thursdays. We're at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Fridays at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Please come back and watch us. If you think improvisation looks like fun, it is. And if you're wondering if you can do it, you can. Synergy Theater teaches online improvisation classes. Go to synergytheater.com, synergytheater.com, click on our classes page, and you can see everything that our School of Improvisation has to offer. Take a class, it's fun, and you'll get to meet some people and laugh a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Stay safe. Synergy Theater loves you. Good night.